Howdy howdy, this is Craig Grinding back again with an arena cutoff video for Marvel Contest of Champions. Well, today is the start of the 4-star basic Blade Day, and I know there's a lot of hype around this arena as those folks that are looking either to dupe Blade because they don't have an Awakening gem waiting for him, or they're looking to get Blade for the first time in round 1, then come around to round 2 and dupe him for that great regen capability. Well, this is your arena, and based off of the comments that I've been getting from the community, it looks like there's still a decent amount of folks looking to get him, so I'm thinking we're going to probably see the highest number we've seen in the 4-star basic arena since the 5-star feature arena arrived. I don't think we're going to see an all-time high. I think Starkey and Iceman, specifically Iceman, are going to still hold those crowns just because the state of the game at the time when their basics came around, it's just a different time, and there's still a lot of 4-star blades out there that people already got, so I think there's going to be a decent balance, but we'll get into the details. But hey, there's also some Winter Soldier arenas, and I'm sure that's why everybody's here, to hear about Winter Soldier's arena. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I always like to do, of course, is kind of categorize how I think these arenas are going to end up, so I can compare them to past arena cutoffs and come up with that, do a little trend analysis. So anyway, when it comes with the feature arenas, they're either an old champ or new champ, and that'll kind of show their results. Obviously, with a Winter Soldier, he's an old champ, real old champ, been around forever, even though he did get a little bit of a redo with patch 12.0. A lot of people already have him. And then we jump over to Blade with the 4-star basic arena. There's really only two groups since the 5-star feature arena was added. They're either low results or I should say low interest, low results, low cutoff, whatever you want to call it, and then higher cutoffs. And there's only been a handful of champs to even be in that higher cutoff zone, and I think for sure Blade is going to reach that and then some. He's going to extend that range that we've seen so far. So let's first take a look at the feature results, starting with the 4-star arena. You can see with Storm, Gambit, Luke Cage, and even Nebula. I did throw out Hyperion because his numbers were a little bit skewed since he's still a really high-level champ in the game. His numbers were a lot different than all these other champs we're seeing. Even with the buffed Luke Cage, you can see these numbers are right around high 4 millions to mid 5 millions, and I think with Winter Soldier he's going to end up, you know, closer to Nebula, just because there's just not going to be a lot of people grinding specifically in the 4-star feature arena. Now we jump over to the 5-star feature arena, and these numbers still push up higher, and I think the people that typically grind for this arena probably already have the 4-star blade, so I don't think you're going to see a tremendous change, a tremendous dip for the 5-star feature. For the 5-star feature Winter Soldier, people are going to come to probably not even to get him, but maybe to get all the extra 6-star shards that you can get out of this arena. So I think you're going to see not a huge dip, maybe a smaller number closer to Nebula's than what we see with Luke Cage, but you can see we're still in the 20 millions across most of these old champs. Then when we get to Blade, the 4-star feature arena, where there's been 4-star basic arena, where there's only been a handful of champs that I've kind of been categorized in that high zone, so above 3 million. Everybody else is like 2.5 or lower, and maybe even upper 1 millions, like 1.8, 1.9 million. Obviously, these champs did not fall in there when you look at their first round cutoffs, and for the most part, Mephisto and Medusa are kind of like on the higher end. Well, I guess Hela there as well. But you can see at this time, since the 5-star feature arena has been added, Medusa's got the crown at 3.83, and I'm sure Blade's going to take that away. So in addition to looking at these trends, I always love to get the opinion of the community, and so I always post a poll out there on the community section of my YouTube channel, and I appreciate everybody who took the time to vote. And you can see the hype level of this arena, or this group of arenas, and again, it's all for Winter Soldier, right? Because there was 572 votes. If you've been following my channel, you know that the highest number that I've ever seen has been around 300. Typically, it's anywhere from 300 to 200 votes. Well, we've pretty much doubled that for this arena, so there's a lot of people interested in there, and there's no clear winner in terms of where people think. The overall the biggest number is that 4.5 to 5 million, where 35% of you have voted that, but then there's a decent number of you that are thinking he's going to push over 5.5 million. And looking through the additional comments to this poll for the folks that took the time to put some context behind their vote, all these 5.5 are people who don't have him yet, pretty much. Everybody else is kind of like in that 4.5 to 5 million or some of these lower numbers. But I think Gas Mask Dude kind of with his comments really kind of summarizes my thoughts on it, and kind of hearing from other folks. This one's going to be a kind of a tricky arena, and I think he categorizes, kind of lists some good reasons. Lots of people already have him, so you would think automatically that would push the number down. Kabam just recently sold grinding packs, so people who don't have him are going to push those number up high, and no one's interested in that 4-star Winter Soldier. And I think Gas Mask Dude called it out there, the 4-star Winter Soldier. I think the 5-star, there's still going to be the people that are after those that typically push those number up high. They're still going to be there pushing that 5-star, but it's the 4-star that's probably going to take the ding. And so Gas Mask, I estimated it to reach 4.5, because even though a lot of people may have him, they may not have him awakened, but it shouldn't go above 5 million, because for grinding fatigue, a lot of people are going through. I wouldn't be surprised if a second round goes for 3 million. I think that's a good point. I think we will kind of see that dip in the second round, kind of like what we saw with Iceman, and even I think Starkey had a bit of a dip too in the second round. Maybe not as significant as Iceman, but there was a bit of a dip, if I recall correctly. I know for a fact with Iceman there was a tremendous dip. But anyway, I think Gas Mask Dude here summarizes kind of the general opinion across the community that I'm reading, except if you're one of those folks who don't have him, which pushed the number up high like 5.5. So it's going to be interesting to really see where this cutoff ends. So anyway, taking all of this input from the community, and thanks again for everybody who took the time to vote and provide some context to the vote in the comment sections, and including the trend analysis. Here are my thoughts where I think the round 1 cutoffs will end up. So first, with Winter Soldier, 20 million. I think we're going to see 20 million. I think it's still going to reach that average number, just because of people that are wanting to go, that push the 5-star numbers up will still be there, going after their 6-star shards, maybe looking to dupe Winter Soldier, whatever the case may be. It's not going to be much higher than 20 million, but I think that cut is going to be right around 20 million. I think you're going to see that top 10% shard tier right around 9.8 million, which is kind of a typical cutoff for the first round 5-star feature cutoff when there's an old champ. Now, jumping over to the 4-star, and I'm probably overestimating this 5 million. It's probably even closer to 4.5. The reason why I pushed it to 5 million for the 4-star Winter Soldier is that top 10% shard tier, 4.1. There's going to be kind of a balance here where people who are going to go for that top 10% shard tier versus Winter Soldier, and trying to make sure they always get that cutoff, so they push those numbers up to 4.5, 4.6, because the cutoff's always around 4.1, 4.2, so they don't want to miss out. But then they don't want to push too high, because in this case, it might actually get Winter Soldier and might miss out on some of the rewards that they're trying to get there from the shard tier. So it will be real interesting to see where this one kind of plays out. So 5 million is probably too high. It's probably going to be more close to like 4.7, 4.8, but just kind of round it up to 5 million just for those folks who are trying to, avoid that shard tier, whatever. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this one all ends up. Now, the same can be said for sure about the Blade Arena. I think it's going to be 5.1. I think, balancing out the people that are just trying to get them duped, on top of, people that are looking to get them for the first time, and just the general grind fatigue that we've seen with the 4-star basic, and just all the other content. Always keeping in mind all the content in the game, like dungeons and just everything tied into the Infinity War and Thanos this month. I think those numbers are going to be right around 5.1, and also, of course, balancing the fact that there's those arena boosters that's still available. So at the end of the day, I really think it's 5.1. And what's going to be dragged up as well will be that 1.6 million for the 11 to 25% tier. So if you're just going for that shard tier, make sure you go over to 1.6. Typically, it's been like 1.3, 1.4 with high interest champs, but this is going to get dragged up a little bit higher, like Medusa dragged it up higher to over 1.5. I think Blade's going to bring that shard tier up to 1.6. And lastly, when it comes to the 3-star feature arena, this has been almost like clockwork. Every time there's an old champ, it's right around 650,000. It's pretty crazy how close these numbers are for every old 3-star feature champ. It's right around 650,000 with that 11 to 25% shard tier at 400 to 10,000. And again, these predictions are for the veterans bracket. That means your account's been open for over 61 days. Now, these are the predictions, and there's a lot of variability, a lot of kind of guesswork going into this based off of the community input as well as the trend analysis. So I definitely want to have people keep in mind the grind target, especially folks that are going for Blade for the first time. I do recommend you go to that 5.5 million. I think that'll be a good safe number, and at the end of the day, if you push it up an extra 500,000, that's just some additional arena chips you're getting. So even if it ended up around 5 million, that extra 500,000 will help on the arena chip side. Now coming back over to Winter Soldier 5-star, if you really want to make sure you get that, go to 22 million. If you really want to make sure you get the 4-star, 5.5 should be fine, and actually probably 5 million will be fine this time around. And lastly, with the 3-star feature, Winter Soldier 700,000, you will be completely fine. And again, these grind targets as well as the round 1 predictions are for the veterans bracket. So when it comes to the beginner and intermediate brackets, I mean, if you follow my channel at all, you know I don't have a ton of data behind these brackets. And if you're in the beginner's bracket, you may not, this might be one of the earlier times on my channel because you're newer to the game, or maybe if it's your second account and you've been around, then you know I don't have a ton of data for the beginner and intermediate bracket. There's none of the sources online in Reddit or some of the other community spots that collect arena data. They just don't store this type of data anyway, and even if they did, you can't really compare. It wouldn't be a good apples to apples comparison because there's just a lot of volatility in terms of the total number of people participating in these brackets as they move from one bracket to the next, which is the intent of these brackets to begin with. So long story short, I don't have a ton of data, so take these with a grain of salt for sure. Very rough numbers, ranges to consider. So if you're looking for that 3-star in the beginner's bracket, meaning your account's been open for less than 30 days, or right at 30 days or less, I should say, your 3-star feature to get Winter Soldier, around 245,000. You want to push up to 1 million, maybe over 1 million if you're going for the 4-star basic blade. And for the 4-star feature, Winter Soldier, you might even be able to push around 900,000 because the even newer people in the beginner's bracket, especially if this is a second, third account kind of thing, they'll be pushing that basic number up. Jumping over to the intermediate bracket, meaning the account in question has been open for 30 to 60, or I should say 59 days. The 3-star feature, you'll be able to get Winter Soldier for 550,000, the 4-star basic 1 million, and again, this number will be pushed a little bit higher than normal, so maybe even 1.1, 1.2, and lastly, the 4-star feature. It says 1.2, but probably kind of the reverse. What I was just talking about for Blade, you should be able to get Winter Soldier maybe for around even 900, 800,000. So anyway, these are my thoughts on the intermediate beginner as well as the veterans brackets. So what do you think? How much are you going for Blade? I know a lot of people have been talking already on my channel a little bit whether they're going for him or not. But what do you think about the arena now? Are you ready to push those number up higher? Are you part of that 5.5 crowd that we're looking to get him for the first time and basically winning the game when you grab Blade kind of thing? Let me know. Throw it on the comment section. We can talk about it there. And if you have any questions about the predictions or these arenas, feel free to throw them down in the comment section. Be glad to discuss them there as well. And other than that, thanks a lot for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, we'd really appreciate you clicking the thumbs up button. And if you like this and other videos on the channel, we'd really appreciate a subscribe. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and have a great day.